All right. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Exampreptool. So this lecture is part of free interview preparation for FAANG companies. So here we will try to cover how to take a backup of a table properly. Right. This is a very most commonly used activity in our day-to-day activity in the during your development process in the companies. So we will try to understand how to take the backup properly. Right. So what is the agenda? This is what we are going to do practically. So here practically we will try to cover like how to copy the structure with and without data, and we will try to explore is there any options to copy the data including the constraints and including the indexes, both constraints and indexes. There is one more thing I have not included here. If there is any partitions in the table, understand carefully, if there is any partitions in the table, how can we copy that one also, including partitions also? Right, are you getting what I'm saying? How to take the backup of the table including its structure, I mean definition of the table, right? With and without data, including data and constraints and indexes, and if there is any partitions are there, partitions also. So I will try to cover few things, and rest you can take it as an assignment and you can try to explore that one. It is a very important and common activity that we will do regularly in our during our development process, right? So you all know that while you are working in the companies, so you will, as a developer, we will be working in a development environment, right? I hope some of you may be already having idea about these things, right? So one is a development environment, and next is a testing environment, QA environment, and staging environment, and last one is the production environment. Production and staging environment almost same. I mean, like before we push the code into the live, before code goes to the live, so we will test. We will kind of create a staging environment. It is similar to the production environment. Okay, let's come to the actual topic, right? Okay, all right. So I wanted to tell you one thing. So EPT came up with one initiative, which is, so we have launched a new program. It is not a regular course, but instead it is an industry ready course on data structures and algorithms and Oracle database. And also we are going to provide real-time project. Real-time project doesn't mean that we are going to give some activities and you are going to complete. No. So in industry, how you are going to do the activity and coding standards and everything. So you have to follow similar way, and also you have to automate the some of the activities, database related activities. You have to automate. Think, being a computer science students, you must know all of these things, right? So unlike other program in the market, so we are covering very in depth in the database. It is not like just a normal regular course. Try to understand. So you have a summer break. Try to utilize this program very effectively, right? So if you want more details, you can contact us anytime. We are going to provide you the information, necessary information. So to tell you briefly, so in this course, we are going to start from the very basic level, and we are going to take you to the very advanced level. So whatever you are going to learn through this course, you can work as a database developer and data analyst, and it will be really become a very strong foundation for the data engineering and data science and machine learning related roles also, right? Because data is everything. And you may be having idea, data related roles are becoming so much trendy nowadays, and they are paid very well also. That is why we come up with a new initiative, and already one batch is running. So in that batch, we are just the demo sessions are happening. That is very well available in YouTube also. You can go and watch the videos, right? So you know that industries always look for the skilled professionals, right? They don't want the people who knows only the theoretical part. So you how can that candidate implement that theoretical foundation, whatever he learned in academic, into the real world problem? So the ultimate goal of learning anything is, as a software engineer, you must be able to provide some kind of business solutions to the organization, right? You should be in a position to reduce the development cost by implementing the new things in terms of automation, in terms of efficiency, performance, right? You have to build a very robust system. So that is what we are focusing in this course. So one part is DSA, which is covered by the Reddy sir. And Reddy sir, like how he will be covering the DSA. It will start from very very basic level, and it will then he will build a lot of problem solving ability through the DSA, and the rest the database is going to take care by me. And so here, not only covering the basic concepts, we are going to give you the FAANG level SQL challenges also. And one more part is that not only SQL, in the Oracle there is one more part which is a PLSQL. So we are going to focus more and more into the PLSQL part, and we're going to give you some optimization related a lot of assignments related to that. We are going to see a lot of optimization related concepts, and also we are going to implement the same things in our real-time projects as well, right? I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Yes, and we have very limited seats available, so please try to grab the opportunity. Right now very good discount is running. Here we have mentioned 50%, but it is up to 60%, right? Try to contact us, try to contact Reddy sir, and try to contact me as well. So I'm going to provide you the respective coupon code for you. Okay, and if you have any concerns related to the course, and if you have any doubts and everything, you can reach out to me. And also one more important thing is that if anybody, whoever is having the career gap, right, whoever is having the career gap, for them we are trying to provide a very good opportunity. We are going to give you the experience certificate as well. Using that, you can very well try for the interviews, right, by covering the experience. And also if anybody is want to enter into they wanted to enter into the IT, I mean, like whoever want to restart their career, so you can very well reach out to us. We will try to help you, we will try to handhold you properly, right? So this is my number and sir's number. You can try to reach out to us. All right. So one more important thing is that we have two groups in Telegram. We have groups in Telegram and WhatsApp. So you can scan and join. There we are going to provide a lot of resources in terms of PDF roadmaps, interview question and answers in terms of PDF. So conceptual based questions like this, and also some scenario based questions, and some practical SQL challenges, and some real world use cases we are going to cover through this video series, which is an interview preparation for the FAANG based companies, right? So other side, Reddy sir is uploading every day DSA questions. Try to make a note of those questions and try to practice. Try to implement, whether it is in Python, whether it is in C++ or maybe Java, right? All right. Yes, whatever you are learning here in the videos, try to post somewhere in LinkedIn, right? And try to tag us so that we will come to know like how many people are really wanting to learn more. So that based on that, we will come up with the new interview questions to you, and we will try to answer those questions as well. All right. So now we will go and see practically how can we create a backup of the table. So what is the concept, right? How to take a backup of the table properly. So not only taking the backup, so like how can you try to cover these aspects? And with and without, data along with the constraints, indexes, and if there is any partitions in the table. What do you mean by the partition? It is just simply dividing the table data into different parts. Right? Are you getting? Alright. Now we will see how can we do it practically. Okay, just see how can we do it practically. Just a second, guys. I'll share my screen. I hope you were able to see my screen, right? Now, just carefully observe. I have a table called orders. Okay, this is the table available. Okay, let us see. Okay, this is the data. Okay, very well. So a lot of data also available. You can see here, right? So order ID is there, and respect to customer ID is there, and order date is there, and status. What is the status here? Different status are available, and amount also there, right? Amount, pending, ship, and cancel. These are the different statuses available. Okay. Now we will see what is the table structure available for this particular one. Okay. Constraint. What are the constraint? Here also you can see, if you see that this one order ID, right? Some key is available. That means it is a primary key. You can consider it as a primary key, and you can see this is a kind of arrow mark is there. That means it is referring to the some other table also. But yeah, we will go and check. Yeah, you can see here. So I just opened the definition of the table. I just opened a definition of the table. That means a structure of the table. Okay, this is one of the tool. So where you can explore the so many things, right? Without tool also there are some commands are there. We will try to see in some other session or maybe in the same session. You can see what are the columns available and what is the data type of that, and whether the table is not null or something like that also there mentioned, right? Now if you see here carefully, what are the constraints available for this table, right? You can see the constraint type also they have mentioned. Just carefully observe. Okay, very very important thing. This is very much required in regular day-to-day life, right? Name of the constraint. If you don't write any constraint name manually while creating the table, so it will generate automatically sys underscore some number, sys underscore some number. Okay, but if you wanted to add name for this constraint, whatever I am selecting, okay, name column, first column I'm talking about, a first column, so you can write a very well constraint name also, right? Suppose let's say this primary key is what, for what is the where for which column primary key is there, right? If you wanted to, if you use the proper naming conventions, so then it is easy to identify, right? You can I see basically I will do like this. Okay, pk underscore order id. Okay, like that. Okay, so the width of the tool is too high. Let me reduce it. Maybe we'll get bit clarity. Yes. Okay, so what I'm talking is about the first column, name of the constraint, right? And here column name is not there. Okay, we will see in the later point of time through the command, through the some command. Okay, and what type of the constraint is available for this particular table? What are the constraints? Check constraint is there. What is the check constraint? They mentioned the condition also. What condition you choose? See, verify. Okay, check constraint, column id is not null. Okay, not null. See here, that is the one check condition. And another condition, order date is not null. And also one more important thing is that status must be between status must be in the state, in the pending state, or maybe the shipped state, or maybe the cancelled state, right? And also one more thing is that order must be greater than 0. Order must be greater than 0. Okay, and the other one is the primary key. Okay, now we will see these are the regular constraints, and if there is any other referential foreign key constraints, See here, you can see, I think you can see, right? Yeah, foreign key fk underscore foreign customer. Okay, customer id is referring to what? Customers table. Okay, this is the main table that we are looking for, the order table, right? You can see the name of the table is order, right? Look at my, observe my cursor. So name of the table is order. Now it is referring to what? Customers table. Customer table, what is the constraint? Foreign key constraint, right? All right, maybe if you want to see CR diagram, so you can see ER diagram as well through the tool. Are you getting? And then you can see the data as well, right? Through the application itself, right? Now, what is the thing? What is the our agenda here? You need to copy the structure. Okay. So let me copy the structure without the data first, or maybe with the data. Okay. Now see, that is the table available. And also before going further, let me now you have seen already this one, right? You have seen already constraints and everything, right? Now let us see the constraints through the command. How to check the constraint through the command? Tell me, anybody, if anybody knows. So there are so many things are available, right? So many tables may be available. For which table we are checking, right? That we will mention, where table underscore name is what? Orders, right? Orders. Always write the table names in the capital letters. Okay. Yes. Right. This is how you can see. But there is a one more option where you can get exactly which column and what is the primary column for which column, what is the and foreign key for which column. Let me get that syntax as well for your understanding. Okay, now see this one. Yes, this is for the orders table only. Okay, now see here, customer id is the having the referential. This is a foreign key constraint. Okay, and the p means here primary key, right? Now you are able to see all the constraints. Now our agenda is, this is fine, but the thing is that what you have to do, you have to create a backup of the table without the data. With the data we will see first. Okay, now see here with the data. So this is the syntax that you have to use. Create table. What table you have to create? Some orders table, you have to take that backup, right? Order. Now use the backup, something like this. Backup 01 I will give, because I need to cover more examples, right? And after that I always suggest you not only writing some, so naming convention should be very well, you have to give the naming conventions very properly. I mean, like naming conventions, I mean, so proper name, so that you can identify later point of time very well, right? Okay, so now whenever you are taking the backup, what is the time, what is the date, that also you mention. Okay, 0704 2025. At this point of time you have taken the backup. If you want to add a time also, maybe you might be watching this one at 0830. Okay, for your understanding purpose, because in the project there are so many people are there, right? You follow your own convention so that you can identify it very easily. Okay, fine. Yes, which table you wanted to take backup, right? Select star from orders, right? Okay, updated rows is 46. Now we will go and check this table data now properly, and also we will try to observe whether indexes are copied or not. right? That is the important thing for us. Maybe I will give assignment to you. Yes, you can see data also copied. Which table we are checking? Maybe you can see here. Okay, right? Order ID, customer ID, order date, and everything is there for this table, right? That means data we have copied the data. Okay, what is this table? Orders backup 01, right? No, I don't want all the tables because it will create unnecessary kind of performance, right? Issue or memory issues. If you create more and more backup tables with more and more columns, it is always create a lot of issues, right? That is why what we will do, instead of taking all the columns, now here if you see only 5 columns are there, but in reality, sometimes it will vary from 50 to more than 60, something like that. Up to 60 will be also there sometimes. The system is very huge, right? Mostly you will see in product based companies there are so many products running from very so many years, right? So they will always maintain more, they'll always create a more table sometimes. Okay, that is fine. Now what I will do, I don't want all the columns. That is the my problem. Okay, because of so many reasons. Now I will collect only order ID. That is the one column I want. Next, customer ID, and then status. This, that's it. Okay, that's it. Now we will see, and also we will make this as a backup too, so that it is really easy for you to track the data. Okay, okay, here also 46 rows. Now we will go and check the data is available or not. Okay, if you see here, there are only 3 columns are there, right? Only 3 columns. Why 3 columns only there in the backup 2 table? Because whenever we are creating the, whenever we are taking the backup, during that time we have selected only 3 columns. So that is why 3 columns are available. What is the next thing? Okay, so if you go and see the mine table, okay, let me copy this one and execute here. Okay, there is a one more column which is amount, right? Right, amount is there, amount is there. Now I want amount, I want records conditionally. Okay, I want records conditionally. Okay, conditionally, what is the meaning of that? So I want a data. Observe carefully. I want a data which is pending. Which is pending. Okay, status is pending, and they paid money more than 5,000. Okay, I want a data which is the whichever is having the status as a pending, and the amount is greater than 5,000. Okay, we will filter the data, only create the data for that particular category only, criteria only. Okay, right, shall we start? Okay, now see here, and if you want yeah, status is also there, and now this we will say as backup 3. Now there is a one condition for this one, for this backup table. So where, what we are saying, status is what? Pending, and also amount must be greater than 5,000. So this is the backup table 3, right? Okay, okay, now we will see. right? See, only few records only there, 11 records only there. Are you getting? So like this you can take the backup of the table with what? With data. With data. Are you getting? With the data. So now question is, whenever you are taking the backup of the table, are you able to see the constraint? Are you able to copy the constraints and index of the table? Right? If you go and verify for this table, orders table, so you can see that constraints also, primary key constraints are there, check constraints are there, and foreign key constraints also there. Along with that, index is also there. Okay, index is also there. You can see this one, right? Are you able to see? Indexes for the order ID is there. And let me check whether any partitions also there. Yes, partitions also there. So you can see the partition, orders partition for 2023 data, 2024 data, and future data. Okay, so whenever you are creating, so this is the thing that you have used, right? Right, this is the partition names. Okay, so now your responsibility is that, so whenever you are taking the backup of the table, so constraints also copied, or maybe constraints also you are taking the backup, or indexes also you are taking the backup, or maybe the partitions also you are taking the backup, right? This is the thing that you have to verify properly, right? Right. Now shall we go and verify whether the constraints are copied or not? For which table we will see? Yes, we will see for this table. Okay. So we will write the some commands. You will take this command, okay, for the constraints, and we will verify for this table backup 3. Okay, see, verify, observe carefully, everyone. Right, through the command I'm executing. Okay, customer ID. So where is the primary key? Primary key is not copied, and foreign key is not copied. Some other so many check constants are there, that is also not copied, right? So if you see here backup 3 table, so you copied the data, right? 11 records you copied, right? You used some kind of conditions and everything, filter the data. For this one only you created some structure, right? And you taken a backup, that is good. But what about the constraints? What about the indexes? That is also matter, right? That is also very, very important. Agree, everyone? Yes. This point we will take up in a later point of time, or maybe in the next session. But now we will go and verify how to copy the structure without a data. So sometimes what happen whenever you are working, so you need to create some kind of test cases, right? No, every time it is a dynamic, right? Whenever the new feature you wanted to test, you need to generate a new data. In terms of database, I'm talking not about the other part, front end, maybe Java or maybe Python related application. I'm talking about only about the database application. So whenever you are testing the one particular database application, one feature of the database application, so there may be chance that during your development phase, sometimes you will create a table, sometimes you will create a structure with the data, without data. You will create a lot of indexes, constraints, partitions, so many things you will do, right? During your job, it is a regular common activity. This is a very common activity, so that is why you must know these things carefully. So now there is a one requirement here, so you need to take a backup of the table, right? That you did already. Now other thing is that you need to take the backup of the table, and without any data, you want only the structure. You don't need to copy all the other things. Are you getting what I'm saying? take the backup of the table without any data. So let us see how we can see, right? Yeah, here only we will cover. Okay, so let me copy this one, same thing. We will try to explore. Okay, so now you just need to okay, let me take the entire table backup, not all, only few columns. Okay, and then no need of all these things, filters and all. Let us see what I will do here. So if you don't use the where condition, then what will happen? I mean, if you don't use the where condition, it will copy the everything data also, including everything. Okay, but the thing is that try to observe carefully. In the real time, every table is contain the millions of records. Sometimes some table is very very huge, right? So that is why we have to conditionally select the data, whatever the data that you wanted to take the backup. Only take that data only as a backup, right? Just because you are doing the development, right? You should not take each and every table as a backup, and it will create a problems. It will fill the memory unnecessary, right? Okay, fine. So now here, so I don't want to copy the data here. So where I will use one condition here. See here, maybe many of you already having idea that comparison, right? One is two, one equal to two. It is true or false? Assume there is a 50 records are there, maybe 45 records are there in the table, orders table. So every time whenever it is executing, for every record it will check the whether this condition is true or not. Now let us assume now you are in the first record. It will check the first record whether this condition is true or false for the first record. Are you getting? It is false, then you don't copy that particular record. And the next for the next record also it will check the whether the condition is true or false. It is always false. One is never equal to two, right? So that means how many records are there, that many times it will condition will be verified, and every time condition becomes false. That means you are copying the structure, you are taking the backup of the table without any records. Now you can see that now I'm written as a backup table 4. Okay, now see here, I'm executing. Verify here, verify. Yes, you can see that 0 records are updated as 0. Okay, now see here, I will try to execute. Okay, yes, if you observe carefully, there is no records at all. Earlier in the previous commands, whenever we are executing, we have verified whether the data is available or not. It is there. Now if you see here, table 3, backup table 3, it is data is available. Only few columns. Okay, table 3, backup table 3. Yes, data is available. Backup table 1, everything. Right? I hope you understood how to take the backup properly. And my question is to you people: so how to copy or how to take backup of including. So try to observe carefully. Each and everything is some kind of keyword here. That is why colors are different. Now I'm writing in the comments, right? See, including constraints and also indexes. Indexes. And if there is any partitions in the table, what do you mean by the partition? It is a kind of dividing the table data into multiple parts, right? So this is the assignment for you. So because it is a kind of little bit advanced for your level, it is not required, but I will suggest you, once you will get a little bit knowledge about the SQL, try to explore this one. We will again, I will cover the in after few days. We will come back and we will see. Okay, how can I take the constraints backup also, and indexes also, and partitions also. Partitions and everything, it's kind of bit advanced. We will see at a later point of time. For now you just try to explore all these points. What are the points? Taking the backup of the table with the data all that columns and few columns and conditionally selecting the few data while creating the backup of the table and without the data also. And we in this session we have seen that how to check the constraints also, right? You have seen, see, this is, if you execute these commands, you can see the constraints of the table, right? So what is these things are called as, you tell me? This is part of data dictionary. That means, so whenever you are creating any structure in the database, okay, it may be the table or it may be the indexes, it may be the views whenever you are creating the views, or maybe procedure, functions, triggers, and everything whatever you are creating. So all these things are called as a database objects in the Oracle database. Maybe similarly in other database also, because everything they will treat as an object here. Okay, so all the object related information will be stored in the dictionary called data dictionary. So you may be having idea about the metadata. What is the metadata? It is the data about the some database object. Try to understand what is the metadata in terms of database terminology I'm telling. If you consider, if you think about the Java, it will be completely different. Okay, so they will be the differently, things are in a different way. Okay, and if you see here in terms of database, so what is the metadata? It is the data about the some database object. What is the database object? For example, you take an orders table. Orders table, if you see here, right, this is the constraints related information, and some DDL will be there, and I'll show you the DDL. Right, so instead of DDL, so you can say this one as a metadata. What is the metadata? It is showing you, it is displaying you what is the column name, what is the type of this data, and if there is any constraints, and so many other things also there. For now, you try to understand data about the some database object. I hope you understood how to take the backup of the table. And if you want notes, I'll show you one. If you want notes, please try to join these groups. Okay, we are going to give lot of information in terms of PDF. Okay, you can ask the doubts also there with respect to the SQL and with respect to the DSA questions. Try to engage in some kind of learning activity. Please don't be stay in the groups just like that. Okay, post some questions and ask some doubts, and ask doubts to the have kind of interaction with the students. Groups are created for learning purpose, not just to sit ideally and observe what other people are doing. Okay, I hope you understood. Try to join these groups. We are going to provide you a lot of videos, and we are going to share there as well, and a lot of PDF will be coming up, right? And before winding up, try to utilize this opportunity. So we have initiated, which is a very new initiative from EPT. So we have launched a completely new program. So DSA and Oracle database, including the real-time project. Right? All right. Thank you, guys.